Welcome to the dungeon. Here we are again. A little different tonight. Well, a lot different actually across the board. We'll be talking about some of that stuff you guys are talking about. Yeah, for sure. That's D&D related. We'll take a subsection on that, but yeah, tonight little different as we changed some things.
Okay, what are these points do?
You're dying to see what the new points do. Yeah, we do have a whole new set. Look, they're all marked with new as well.
I don't think our audio is coming through. Just heads up.
It is.
Is it? Okay. I thought I was unmuted. Maybe I wasn't.
I see the bar moving when you talk. It's not muted. We'll have to see when more people come in.
Right.
So.
Okay, it's not. I can hear myself now.
It's not? You can hear yourself now?
Hearing us talk and then hearing again on delay back here was just like wires crossing indefinitely and I couldn't focus.
Okay, so it is coming through. Good. Yeah, so here we are. Because Marslin had to take a night off again, 2 weeks in a row. Yeah.
Goddamn habit person.
And yeah, he's active, right? And let's see, we'll be back for the 21st and the 28th and the 4th. But the 4th, we're minus a bishop.
Yep.
And then back for the 11th. And then the 18th will be minus us. A couple of us. So yeah, man, got to get all this traveling done early. So yeah, no normal D&D tonight. Tonight we're just going to talk D&D. I've got some things lined up, but
that is true chaos.
True chaos. Yeah. Quentin's looking through all the new channel point rewards. So I did get to spend some time yesterday kind of revamping the layout and the channel itself and added some new points. The only thing we didn't add was new merch. We just haven't done that yet, but that's fine. We can hold off on that. So
if you have a Twitch and Amazon link, they're doing a 4-tier skip for Diablo 4.
Yeah. That was a couple weeks ago. It's not hard to finish the season pass. Like, it didn't really take that much time.
As I'm still level 20 because I haven't been playing.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, a lot of us have been playing Diablo, but it's definitely like the popularity dropped off fast after that nasty patch. I mean, they way to shoot the community, you know.
Is it the one where
a lot of people don't like the season either because it doesn't make any sense?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't forward the main story along. It's just like, oops, the church did something bad.
Oops, I did it again.
Okay. So I'm almost done with it entirely. Mike, you are done with it entirely until next season or whenever we decide to play again.
Yeah.
So cosmetics look nice, but would I buy another season pass? No, because the big thing about it was like all these buffs that give you more XP, makes your potions last longer, and like you basically have to get to level 100 to unlock them all, and then you're done. Like, what am I gonna do? Make another seasonal character? No.
That's stupid.
Right. Like, you don't get the XP one until you're in like your late 50s or something like that. Like, the first point in it is like in your 50s. It's really, really dumb. Poor design choice.
Well, and people basing their new builds and stuff off the hearts, which are going to go away after the season's done. So it's like, what's the point of? You might as well just not use the hearts at all.
The only thing I was thinking today was like, going, getting a few more levels and trying to get that barber heart that's so popular, just so I could kill Uber Lilith, because it's probably going to be easier to do with that heart than it is in the Eternal Realm. So
Yeah, I can't put another 20 something levels in to make it a level 100.
yeah. But yeah, that's not been the hot item. The hot item's been Baldur's Gate. We've been a lot of us have been playing Baldur's Gate. Now it's funny because like when it came to release, I was like, so because me and Oz, we bought it a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was
about a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I think you bought it and then you convinced me to get it. You were like, oh man, it's really good.
And then we got to the cap and we were like, what?
It like capped us at like level 4, I think, or something like that.
It was 4, I think 4. And then like the next round could be level 5, but it wasn't worth it.
So then we got to about a certain point in the game, and they're like, hey, we're introducing bards, and guess what, none of your game migrates, you need to start over. And I was like, nope. I'll wait till this game fully releases. So then there's all this hype. Oh man, Baldur's Gate, I've been waiting for this. I'm like, what are you waiting for? The game's been in alpha for 2 or 3 years. So like, what do you it's been out there if you want to freaking play it. But it is a lot more polished now. I graphically it looks better. The gameplay is better, and they've definitely changed some things. But talk about a game that people play the same game but are getting entirely different results.
Yep. So
there was with giving no spoilers, of course, because there are different paths. There was a part where I was like, "Hey, I did this," and Oz was like, "Oh, I didn't do that." So, and we like to get to a particular area, we took separate directions to get there, and I really like mine, and he really likes his. So there is some replayability, as every character choice matters, and every character and race is different. So some people will hate you just because you're a Dragonborn or a Tiefling
or a Drow. Yep.
Or a Drow. Yeah.
But then there are also, if you're Dragonborn, there are dialect that only works if you're a Dragonborn.
Most OP spell in the game, speak with animals.
or talk with the dead.
Yeah,
speak with the dead is fun.
It is way too fun.
Yep.
And if
for some reason the dead people don't like it when the person who killed them wants to talk to them.
Really?
I don't know. It's kind of strange, but they don't want to talk to you.
Wait. Have I not resurrected anybody I killed then?
Usually they'll tell you as like the corpse remains lifeless.
Oh, no, so I've gotten that on people I have not killed.
Yep.
I know there was one part where Mr. Oz was like, "Hey, go here. Just go see what happens."
Yep.
And I went down there, and I'm like, "Oh." And he's like, "Yeah, I just logged and went the other direction, And I'm like, I'm gonna stay here. And then I found the puzzle solution. We'll say that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I got to go back down there." I've had fights that have lasted an hour, because it's turn-based strategy, which I'm a big fan of that. Very D&D-ish.
That's why I was asking you. I'm like, they weren't really specific about it. And I'm like, well, I like XCOM, and I like the fact that there's a turn base.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of turn-based combat, and it's definitely turn-based. And we were talking because we like to compare like the D&D rules that we know so well to what they're implementing, because they have some different interpretations to this. You've never used guidance so much in your life as this game.
Right.
That's because it automatically asks you if you want to use it rather than leaving it up to the player.
So you don't have to deal with memory issues.
Yeah.
But what was it? See, I need guidance on my memory check of where I was going with that.
If you're a thief and you have 47 buffs to open up a lockpick or disarm a trap,
it's pretty great.
Yeah, you're just looking at them all lined up. You're like, wow, we're opening this sucker.
But so if your character gets knocked unconscious and you have another character go and bring them up, and you don't need a health potion. In fact, that doesn't even seem to be an option, by the way, to like
No,
feed
it's
them
just helping them.
Yeah, you can
just
help them, but you can't shove a healing potion down their throat.
And I'm really surprised they didn't go that route, because like that's the pretty common reaction. But if you get brought up that way, when it's your turn and you're the one that got brought up, you can just move. You can't perform any actions. It's Mike, we've talked about this. Like when you've been knocked unconscious and you stand back up, like, should you be able to really do anything? Because you don't know what's going on.
You should be a little disoriented.
And they do that. And it, like I was talking with Oz, I'm like, should we implement that? It's pretty cruel, but it's more of what would actually happen.
Well, I mean, keeping your movement and losing the action, I don't think is a horrible idea.
No,
because
I want to say
one turn like backing up or being like, I'm looking around.
I want to say, do you keep your bonus action? I thought you could like drink a potion or something like that.
Yeah, you can keep your bonus action.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah, I like it. I know there's a particular thing in a very popular D&D show out there where, what was it, like 3 people were down and it like brought one up and then they brought the other one up and then they
cast the same spell and brought somebody else up and then they cast the same spell.
Yeah. And it just, you wouldn't know that. I mean, if you've ever been hit in the head hard and like stunned, you don't really know what's going on.
No, even I don't know how many times I've fallen and had the breath knocked out of me. It's like, you don't just get up from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were unconscious. You know, you're laying on the ground. You wouldn't even know where people are. So, and I'm glad I don't have to worry about that, because you guys are awesome about that. Even when Gwenton goes down in the back of a corner room, you're all like, I didn't see him. So,
Right.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's probably one of the toughest things when you're in a long-term campaign, especially when you get attached to the characters or players, is like, you know,
they went down,
fighting that natural. Yeah. And you can always ask that question. We're pretty open about like, hey, did I see that? Did I, you know, so that there are those things, and I'm glad we do that. But if any of you that are with us tonight would like to speak to us, get the spirit box out.
By the way, I
ASL.
just downloaded that on
Did you?
Steam.
What is
Demonologist?
that? Like Phasmo.
Not Phasma. I didn't do Demonologist. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Okay.
So tomorrow.
I need to play the game to see how to play it before I just jump in.
That's fine. Tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, the best way is live.
We'll do beginner house, easy mode. Teach you all the tricks.
You got it, guys. I got to get used to playing on a PC again.
Yeah.
I haven't played anything on a PC in over 20 years.
WASD. I think the controller actually will work on that if you plug in like a PS5 controller.
I think it does.
That's what I used to play Diablo, is my PS5 controller. So
I tried.
You tried.
I'm sitting there and it's like I download Steam and everything and start to do a login. They're like, you already have a login under this email address. I'm like, when?
You may have a whole library of games just sitting there.
Right?
I don't remember doing that at all, ever.
No beer of the week this week as Half-S is taking his summer break. And that's it seems like we all B&B may not have a show this week. As they're busy with Fanboy Tone getting moved in. He's about done. He's pretty much got most of his stuff over in the new place, and the dude is got kids in sports. And for those of you that have ever had kids in sports or any kind of activity like, if you remember back campaign 1, the whole reason we play on Mondays was because of somebody's, it was soccer, right? Like it was
soccer.
So yeah.
I remember I was pushing for like, can we do this on Saturday? And everyone's like, no.
Not on Saturday. No, that would be bad.
Yeah.
So thankfully Mondays worked. So I have to ask you three that are here because the Marsland's out. Is there questions about the campaign that you want to know?
Well, sure, but what could what could be?
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. Will you leave Oz alone?
No. and for all of you out there, like that's the normal response. Like that question gets asked every week.
Yep. He's just trying to stay incognito, not be in the limelight. And then here comes the Frost Weavers.
We're going to we're going to do a video like the Leave Brittany Alone. It's going to be Oz being like, leave Oz alone.
I want to be. I have a serious question.
Yeah.
How was Hugh supposed to get sick if he was supposed to get sick from Marriage Kiss?
How was he supposed to get sick, or how was he supposed to get better?
How is he supposed to get sick? Because the whole hole in the ground thing wasn't supposed to happen.
He wasn't supposed to get sick.
Oh, okay.
There was no plan there. Yeah, there was no plan on Hugh dying. Like he was a character I was willing to go far with, and there I had plans for him for stuff too. But I also had these basic like these pits underground, and when Marsland just was like, he just moved the earth,
Mold earth, let's go.
Which I didn't even know he had that, especially at such an early level.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah. So when he pushed the ground down like that, I had no option to do anything else. So we dealt with it. But then it was like, okay, well, there's bad stuff that's going to like poof out of here. And then you guys were like, oh, I'm going to go look at this. Like, don't touch it. Don't go down there. And, well, you did.
So hold on a second. So you're blending this on us that Hugh died because we didn't stick his hands inside the hole.
Hugh's curious. You put the hole in the ground. He's a treasure diver.
Don't believe it, Quentin.
No, that's his backstory. Is he was into some shady shit.
Yeah. Okay. So like you're out there like guarding a chest or finding a chest or whatever that's out there, right? Like he's curious about what's in there, and like you just open a hole in the ground, there's tunnels. What does he like to do? Spelunk for more things. So yeah. But then like I'm like, okay, we don't want to eliminate Quentin's brother. So let's put something that's going to hold it off until a cure can be found. So I tucked my little necklace, into the locked chest. And then came Oz.
And a Jap. Or Hellberg. I don't remember what it was.
Can't go over it. Gotta go.
You didn't have to break the contents of the chest when he tried prying open the top of it with a halberd.
So
You ended up smashing it.
And I pried open the top of it with an halberd. All of a sudden, that means that everything inside of it's broken now.
The words were, I jabbed my halberd into the chest and I worked it back and forth, you know? So, yeah, stuff got broken. And I did look through I like to look through like Jeremy Crawford's tweets and things about, and just some other opinions from other DMs and players of like, how do we deal with situations where, you know, players, instead of picking the lock, just smash the chest to get it open. Because I mean, a lot of them are wooden, and that was a lot of the feedback was that stuff inside breaks. So it broke it.
It
So from
We
there,
could talk about first season.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
You guys did throw some chests off of a treehouse, basically.
We did.
To break them open.
It's like, well, we can't figure this out. Bloop. Threw him off the tree.
That explains what the hell Oz was doing in Baldur's Gate with Mage Hand.
Yeah, I most certainly did. I couldn't get to that chest, so I used Mage Hand to push it off the edge so I can get to it.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's like, what are you doing, man?
It lets you do it.
Yep.
The most satisfying thing in Baldur's Gate 3 is shoving people off the ledge.
It is.
Nothing like taking
although you can't loot them, though. And that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Hey, wizard, you can't shove people off of anything. Fucking fail everything.
I mean, like in Baldur's Gate, you're just clicking on stuff. I was like, all right, what else can I do? I've used everything I can do. I'll just shove them, and then you just take it from to shove them and see if you can get them out of the way. So, DM, can I start shoving people as a bonus action?
We actually have rules for that.
I know, but that's an action, not a bonus action.
Right. Where is our variant rules? Here we go. So let me switch this. Yeah. So we as a group, and we've talked about this, and I think we've even brought it up in other ones, but we keep adding to it. We have a whole set of variant rules, and these aren't necessarily anything that's, I would say, game breaking, but more like stuff that needs to be covered because stupid things happen. A lot of these happened because Grayson in campaign 1 kept wanting to do stuff. Can I do a backflip over there, whip my whip up into this tree, swing around, and land on his nose?
Yep.
No. So, and as an agency in D&D, like, you always want to, you want to try not to say just outright no. I mean, let people try stuff. Let silly things happen. Sometimes they're good ideas. Sometimes the dice fixes the problem for you as a DM.
Yeah.
So
you fall on your head.
Right. Can I shove my sword into this key and then do this or that? I mean, we've come there's been some interesting requests over the last several years. So we cover a lot of these, but most of the time the dice fixes them. So I'm not real thrilled about some of the options, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So we added this document that they all have access to. The big one, why this isn't just the base rule of how things work, because it's literally math, but we do it's an optional rule in the DM guide for moving diagonal. So some people think diagonal is just the same, it's 5 foot on a diagonal. The thing is, if you do that, you can cross a map very quickly. So as you move like a crab across the map. And me and Mike actually knew someone who abused this quite extensively in a previous group. And it was was really irritating. So and it's not overly challenging rule. I mean, basically your first one's 5 foot, but the second one's 10 foot. And if you were just to move squarely over there, you'd get to the same place. So
That's literally how I've always done it, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
yeah. So, and I've never played, like we always play grid. I've never played hexes. And hexes, you don't have that issue.
Oh, because it's a hex?
Yeah, because everything is there. There's what 6 directions of movement. Hexes are probably more realistic movement. We just have never done them. They're kind of challenging to build a map on, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, diagonals, climbing onto bigger creatures. That was definitely a Grayson thing. Grayson wanted to climb on top of anything that was bigger than him.
I'm gonna climb you.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was high deck based, so it's like if I could do it and keep my balance.
right. Disarming, this comes up often is like, hey, can I take my weapon and try to hit their weapon out of their hand? That's something that can happen in combat. We see it in movies all the time, right? The little spin the rapier around and flick their sword off to the side and something like that.
It's called a feint.
Technically,
Feint. Feint.
There you go.
Gwenta did something similar to that to that priest in the town that we're not allowed to go back to anymore when he's about to stab somebody.
I mean, you guys can go back.
Yeah, but hey, we got rid of the guy. He's not with us anymore. He murdered everybody.
And these were just some of the basic ones I found. Overrunning, like running through a creature, shoving aside, which y'all haven't really
Cleave? Sorry.
Cleave? No. It's there, but I would say it's not. The situations have happened where you all have been surrounded by lower level creatures, but it was in the first campaign more than this one. And in the first campaign, you didn't really have anyone that was like, I'm going to cleave, because you couldn't cleave with a whip. You had Arlo. Arlo could have cleaved. That would have made sense. Galtier, you could have, for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's basically just hitting something, and if there's damage left over, moving to the next creature. So, falling
The hard thing
damage.
about that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying the hard thing about that is like we never really know how much health they have left. So can we like make it a default rule that if you kill one, you automatically cleave the next guy?
Yeah, and that's I try to look for that to happen.
Okay,
but like a lot of times you either don't have another creature there or So I keep a more of an eye out on that. It is kind of weapon based because like if you're piercing, that doesn't make sense unless it's like behind them or something, and that's even weirder and kind of gross.
You can impale them.
Yeah. Now we need to add a new one for impaling.
Yeah, someone uses one.
Falling damage, we do.
It's like what a strength check to pull your sword back out.
Yeah, it gets stuck in there. You just like pin a bunch of goblins on the end of a blade.
Who's hungry? Crow, are you hungry? We'll roast them.
Hungry I am. Yes. Falling damage is the one we completely deviate from the book. Because what is max 8d10 or something like, or 8d6, something like that?
Because after that you die.
No, that's just where it maxes. It just stops.
It's like that's terminal velocity.
Yeah, and that's only 80 feet.
Yeah,
and I think it actually takes what 140. It's what 144 feet per second is terminal velocity.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any worries about that.
Yeah, so all we did was change it that it's 1d6 bludgeoning damage per 10 feet of distance, and there's no cap. So there's no Assassin's Creed flipping off the tower into a hay bale here.
I can do that. It just won't be very fast.
Yeah, you got Featherfall. That's a little bit different.
120 miles an hour.
Yeah, you're not going to reach that in 80 feet or whatever it is. Maybe 60. And
you accelerate at 9.8 meters per second squared. So, yeah.
So it gets a little weird. So we just remove the cap. It just keeps adding up. Because I mean, once you hit like level 15, level 16, that means you could literally jump off of anything and survive. Which just, I know you're kind of a hero, but that's just not happening. Recently, we added the ability for, like I said, these get added because of our people. Shameless Straston. There's Mr. Lathis. That's right. This guy promotes me in our Star Wars game every Monday and Wednesday. He puts he's an admin over there, so he's got a command just Shameless Straston, and he plugs the channel. So we appreciate his support for sure. We like having him around. And he wants to stop by and be a guest sometime on the show, and we can facilitate that. We haven't done that yet, really.
No.
So
We've only had the one.
in this campaign, did we?
No, not
That's
this
the
one.
first campaign.
Yeah,
No.
first one.
Yeah. No, we had a couple in the other campaign. Well, I mean, I think we had some voice work.
We had Tone and then Cherry.
Yeah. So, but we've now facilitated a jumping attack. What happens when you jump down off of something and you attack? Let me come in and just have a fun sit down. You just be one of the shopkeepers.
He's gonna come in and make a bunch of barbecue.
Yeah. Oh, we get rolling on.
He's the hooded character in the bar that starts telling us this grand story and we think it's a quest, and then he just gets up and walks away.
My story's over. Yeah, see, just wants to have a fun sit down. Sorry, story about meat. Yeah, you get to the end, and he's like, and that's how I smoked my first brisket. We actually made a channel in that for that mobile game. It's all barbecue meats, and we guide our fellow game players into the proper smoking techniques. So. But we did a jumping attack because somebody likes to teleport and fall down on things. So we've got some stuff about holding onto your weapon there and the type of weapon and what kind of damage that does. Here's one that hasn't really been used either, but I put it in because I was sure it was happening in campaign 1, and that's explosives. I was for sure Blaylock was going to blow something up. But
he rolled so poorly with the gun, so he just stopped using it.
Yep.
Right, our Canadian, our meat smoking Canadian friends. I thought for smoking meats.
Can't do smoked meat. Lauren gets headaches from it.
Oh, that's no good.
Which sucks because my mom has a smoker that she doesn't use.
But we've got some rules in there for gun and gunpowder and dynamite. Probably our biggest deviation of everything is our healing, how we do healing. Which is you don't recover all your hit points on a long rest because it's dumb. Hey, this dragon bit my arm off. Whew, I feel better now after 8 hours, Lathis will smoke meats for you, Jeremy. That's what he says.
Let's go. Come on up. We're only like 3 states away.
Yeah.
I think you're Indiana, right? That's technically 2, but...
No, Iowa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're further than I've gone east.
That's east?
Fucking cardinal directions, okay? Never eat soggy waffles. Works the same way no matter which direction you go.
I don't think it does.
Yes, it does. It 100% does. Because if you flip the E and W as I do, it still works.
No.
Clockwise or counterclockwise?
Anyways.
Anywho, one of the things we have in here that we don't really do is the full rest. If you're resting in like an inn or something, you gain extra temporary hit points.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed, but yes, that's one of those where like you've had a good rest, long rest. You're not staying up to watch it. You're not staying up to read books. You're just like sleeping, and there's not a whole lot of big concerns at the moment. Safety in the city kind of stuff.
Well, like Scootus's house.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Yep. So I don't immediately think of this one, so I'm not as much inclined to be like, hey. But and then spell scrolls we
don't really use.
I put scrolls in the game, but much like Baldur's Gate, like I just don't use them. Nobody uses them.
Well, I mean, because it's so there's so many rules around it. Like if the character's not proficient in it, then they has a chance to they get like a big chance to fail, and it's. Eesh.
Yeah. And then if they fail, there's a scroll mishap table, and that's right out of the DM guide.
Yeah.
Now, dumb question, because I think we've done like one time. Can you try multiple times?
No, it's consumed. I think we even have that in there.
The ink dries up and is not prevalent anymore.
Yeah. And then because of all these people with the tech magics, and this was a Grayson thing too. You notice where a lot of my work comes from? Colors of magic. What color magic is it?
That was not just a Grayson thing. That was a spell thing.
It is.
I know.
You know what type of spell it is, so maybe we had to ask. Based on the glow.
I know. But like surprisingly, that's not something in the manual. It's like I had to go out and find something different to cover that. It glows brown. The item's been dipped in the toilet. So yeah, we do we have a little bit of extra things there. But you just go west. Quentin goes west when he's going somewhere.
I go west the least.
But yeah. So on top of that, and we also use our own wild magic surge table, which we have showed before on here. Yeah, this is the sorcerer one. So there's a lot there.
I want to see what the barbarian is.
The barbarian one? You mean
You'll see
that
at the
one?
end of the campaign.
No, he actually doesn't. He's very adamant about he doesn't want to know what happens.
Yep.
With that, which one of the new coin things affects that?
It does.
Coin things.
Yeah,
our point redemptions.
Yep.
Because then now we'll have like all of the chat trying to get Helga to come back.
well, you get to pick. So,
okay.
Yeah, when you rage, they can have you roll a second time, and you get to pick the desired effect from the table from those two rolls. So, and there's timers on those, so it's not a spammable thing.
Yeah.
So, question.
Yeah,
I'm just reading the table. Why is you gain tremor sense a nuisance? It's the fifth column. It's number 3. But
number
it's
3.
Also called number 5, depending on which number you look at.
Nuisance is the good stuff there. I don't know why it's nuisance.
Okay, I'm like, I was like, that's just like an irritable thing. Where like, why is it happening?
Green, yellow, red. I think I just never changed
your
the name.
mind is filled with the piercing screams of all those you've destroyed with wild magic. You lose your hearing for 1d4 days.
Oh God!
I
know you're talking, but I can't hear you. All I hear is death.
What about your weapon gains sentience for 1d4 days? If anyone comes within 5 feet of you, you must make a melee attack against that creature.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine you're walking through town and you're like,
Oh my god!
This is how I go to prison.
Oh, and you know how it would go too. Is that would be when you do all your nat 20s.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It'd be like, you're going to meet the king.
Your Majesty.
Stay away from me.
Not me. It's the weapon. I swear.
Mr. Lathis wants to play a halfling bard. What is it about halfling bards? Everybody wants to be a halfling bard. There's a lot of halfling bards. That was your first character, wasn't it, Jeremy?
No, it was half elf bard.
Oh, was it half? Okay.
I think it was before I started with the G name shit too.
Yeah, it was like Uther or something like that. It was some with a U.
Ulrig.
Ulrich, yeah. Yeah, it was half elf bard. So yeah, so there's basically we do things a little different with a sorcerer table and for the wild magic barbarian. Because like when Oz was being built, the wild magic barbarian table in the book is like it's what is it, like 8 effects or something
It's like
like
8
that?
effects, and then by like level 6, they're useless.
That was
Yeah.
the same with Scar with the madness. We ended up doing our own madness.
Yeah. So let me go into that. We homebrew a lot, by the way. And I don't think I'm revealing anything here. So if I see something, I'll
screen cap grab it on Twitch. Don't worry.
yeah, well, you can't really see anything, but we like
Oh, the original name for Dumar's Grace.
this one?
The trolling name you gave me because I didn't know what it was.
Which one?
No, I just saw Dumar's Grace and was thinking the name.
Yeah, there's nothing really here. I mean, you guys knew
Like
I had to.
Eve?
Oh,
I
that's
had
a Ogo Pogo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In case we fought him.
There was the chance and the choice that you could have fought Ogo
A
Bogo.
frog god?
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't like super good, but like yeah, he
Then
wasn't
Crow
bad.
would never want to join us again.
Is Master Augmented Staff that ends resistance? Is that the rod that Biddle had in campaign 1?
Yeah, that's yep, for sure.
Okay.
Well, there was a lot in that.
There was a lot. You can call me Frody. Yeah, there was a lot going on with their Ishtab. Knolls are Knolls fairly popular for us, but like we built the Knoll race with the let me look at the. So we had canine calling, blood rush, feral regression. Yeah. So this was a thing that about killed everybody. So madness effects that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we took it a next step, of giving like as a Knoll, you aligned to a duty, a job from birth. So there's like pack training. So you could have been a Knoll shaman, scout, warrior, which aren't classes, but like your breed, what you did, and that changed what you had going on. So we put a lot of time into it. Tricky, how's it going? When are we going to get Tricky into a D&D session? I mean, we've tried.
Yeah.
We've tried many times.
This was my saddest disappointment. The Ale Spark in campaign 1, somebody freaking broke it, and
Whoops.
is
Ironically enough, because they broke a container.
yeah, they
told everybody he smashed it.
yeah. It was basically a free healing potion.
Very healing, but you can get drunk.
Oh dang! A lot of people like our battle automa.
There you go.
I even put like, look at that from a shadow spark.
But no, Wizards of the Coast are never gonna make a frickin' Knoll character.
The Talsahin from the first one, all that stuff. We homebrew a lot of things. I'm so busy with the kids. Yeah. Yeah, I know, man. Being the soccer coach extraordinaire that you are.
This is what you do. The kids play with you. A
Yeah.
family D&D session.
Well, what we need to do is like Tricky usually shows up at Midland Mall, and we need to just go ahead and Tricky schedule sitting down at one of the tables. I'm pretty sure it might we're probably gonna have 3 tables this next year, right? Like we're gonna be able to. Like. Yeah, we're gonna be able to. I would rather have too many tables of DMs than having to turn people away, which we've had to do 2 years in a row because we've packed out. Or overwhelmed us, which is, hey man, I got 10 people at the table. What can you do?
Telling you, even giving ourselves 30 minutes between games didn't help.
I didn't have so the bathroom this last year was like how far? 100 feet from us, if that. It wasn't very far.
Yeah, it's just right around the corner.
And 30 minutes wasn't enough to get to the bathroom and back. Let alone freaking lunch. Lunch was a mess. But we'll be I mean, we're going back. The Gygas charm, that's something that'll never return.
Was the Gygas charm the thing that
was the back scratcher that made you all wet?
Yeah, but it healed the shit out of you.
Yep,
Pretty much you were it was regeneration, and the amount of what was it? It was like in 10, or if you waited an hour, it was like 100 hit points back.
Yeah, I mean,
you're taking a short rest. There you
go. Once per day, but yeah. So these are all the things. Like I spend a lot of time homebrewing things.
What was funny, there was one of those things that like nobody ever used, and then Grayson's like, okay.
Yeah. I thought
for some reason what I pictured at the Gygas charm was not a claw.
Yeah, it's definitely a claw.
Scratching my balls with it. I'm all wet.
I think this was
good.
I think this was an item that I made for Blaylock that he never used.
I wasn't a sniper. Blaylock wasn't a sniper.
But you could have been.
It could have been. Yeah, I think it was there to be utilized, but
yeah. Then the edge itself, but no, yeah, we like our homebrew stuff that we do. But one question that we get, well, first, Mike, I think you were out when I asked the question. Is there any questions from the campaign you want to know the answer to that I can answer?
Oh, from this campaign?
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, everything that Bishop's trying to find out, he's found out so far.
Yeah. You guys have left a few items and things behind, and we've had to shift some things. I can't remember how many pages I'm up to now.
Well, a lot of it is too. It's like, because it's a living world, you know, we had to clean up a lot of messes at the beginning of this campaign.
Yeah. And that's one thing that helps. And you know, I don't know, Gwenton and Oz, what you guys have been experiencing, but playing like Baldur's Gate 3, I feel like our campaign, I think Oz, we were talking about this the other night, the Baldur's Gate feels a lot like campaign 2 to me, because it's like this big world that you're just in. And it's not really, it kind of railroads you in some places, but more of like it's off in the distance and you got to figure out how to get to that place. I like the organic world style versus the railroad.
I mean, now that we're done restarting characters and trying to fix not working quest lines, maybe I'll get further than
3 times.
We've been playing for like 2 weeks, and we just got to the one spot again. Oh man!
But
But
one of the
I have trolls to help me.
right, that's pretty great. That was a great conversation thing too.
Right.
So one of the questions we get is, how do you build a character? And we haven't done this in a while. And eventually, someday, I'm going to do some video series on this someday. So you guys chime in with your opinions as we go. Oh, this is new.
Oh, when I said making pre-made.
They've always had pre-made.
Oh, I've only ever seen quick build and random when I do it.
So
But not even at this scene.
So now they have beginner show help text. So they do have that. We're just going to do a standard character. So there's a lot that goes on in here, and it can be a little overwhelming, especially where they start you at. Oh, that's new too. Man, I have not made a character. They've changed it recently.
These changes were after we made our character for this campaign. It was even after I made the backup character.
It was after our in-person as well.
Yeah.
So the first one is like picking your content that you want to show up. Like, do you want Critical Role content? They've got some things in there. Do you want non-core D&D? I usually check all those. The more options, the better. The ones I don't check, Minecraft content, which don't even know what that's about, and Rick and Morty content, because those are probably going to be a little off kilter to the standard game.
Can I have the portal gun from Rick and Morty? Just...
Right. Do you want to enable digital dice for that character? That's weird that would even be an option, just to disable it. I know you guys love the digital dice, so why would you? Mike's just smiling.
Why would you want to get rid of it?
Optional features, I like both of these. Myself, this is something recent, and this was met with. I think, Mike, you follow it as much as I did. There was a lot of hesitation with this, but I'm kind of cool with it now. Basically, the idea was that not all orcs are strong and dumb. Not all Goliaths are strong and dumb, kind of thing. So historically, if you picked a Goliath race, you would have a benefit you'd have 2 points in strength, 1 point in constitution, I think, something like that. So the customized
a -1 in intelligence.
Yeah. So the customize your origin allows you to pick whatever race you want, and you'll get, what is it? You can do +1 to 3 stats, or +2 to 1 and +1 to another, something like that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I think that really helps the game. I think there's a lot of benefits with that, because if you want to play a skinny minotaur that likes to work on devices, you can do that with Customize Your Origin. And then the optional class features, they're not all. There's some that are a little sketchy, but most of them are good additional benefits. I think it changes. You can change some stuff with Ranger, which anything that can help a Ranger be better is beneficial.
The fact that they haven't gone back and retooled that, especially after so many people have complained about them.
The devs themselves are like, Rangers suck. Why doesn't anybody want to play a Ranger?
Yeah.
I don't know. And this goes back to even, what was it? The Arcane Archer that was a fighter class before was better than a Ranger. It doesn't take much. So there's some great Instagram videos that are out there laughing at Rangers. Advancement type, Milestone XP. If you're new to D&D and you're a new DM, Milestone is far superior. I know I don't want to be now. A half elf Mohawk. I don't think Mohawk is a class, but
or a subclass.
Yeah, if you want to homebrew it, don't know what that would be. But
That's
milestone.
the night elf mohawk that had Mr. T.
Ah.
D&D version.
I want to get no jibba jibba.
So milestone makes it easier, I think, on newer DMs, because you just say when you're at this point in the story, you go up a level. And yes, you will have your players asking at the end of every session, "Did we get a level? Did we get a level?" As my wonderful crew does here. Or you can go XP
Because we
based.
do a lot of RP.
You do. And milestone is a lot more RP friendly in my book. When you do XP and there's, say you do 3 sessions of RP, which is not uncommon with our group. As a DM, you got to be like, who RP'd good? And you have to give them XP for that. Did everyone do the same amount, or did Oz like really blow the socks off of everybody? So it's like a judgment call, and I don't like doing that. I'd rather say, hey, here's kind of a story point, and here's an area. Like, you get a level once you finish this area or finish this point, and I'm fine with that.
Well, we discussed it too, especially in campaign 1, and of course, there was the one character that never spoke up, always just followed around, and it's like, okay, so do you grant levels to 3 out of 5 people?
Yeah. And that's what happens with XP based progression is eventually the character levels will separate. And is that wrong? No. Does it send a message to certain people? It can. If you're in an RP heavy campaign. Now, if you're in combat, that's different because the XP is shared. So once you kill the dragon, the dragon is worth X amount of XP, and you divide it equally among everyone that's there. That helped you do it, including NPCs, if they helped you. I like milestone.
Everybody just doesn't get 500 XP.
No, Cuddle's calling down the light. Yeah, it feels like you did call down the light. That's why I'm so like, oh, yeah, I really got to do something about this light. Recently, though, we moved to fixed hit points. I actually like it quite a bit.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
So once you level up, a lot of times you roll for hit points. If you get a 1, our group's rule is you re-roll 1s, because getting 1 hit point on a level up is awful.
Terrible. Yeah.
But by moving to fixed, you miss those opportunities to roll high, but you get a set amount. So it's half your hit dice plus 1. That by far, if you've seen Gwynton's rolls, is going to outroll most people. And so when you level up, again, milestone, fixed, you just got to worry about everything else. It's one less math off the table that you have to deal with. So I've been happy with it. I'm guessing you guys are, and there hasn't been any complaints come in. So
I haven't thought about it. Makes it easy.
Really, I was gonna say, it's like,
Yeah, it's just it's a worry we don't have to. That's not on our plate right now. You don't have to worry about rolling, getting like a 2 as a barbarian. Or
and it
even
happens.
worse as a wizard. Yeah.
Poor wizard. And then feats, check all these level scaled spells. You want those. Encumbrance can be kind of a gray area. And we had some conversations about encumbrance before we decided to do this. And it really comes down to not as much. I mean, gear's a thing, but like, so let's take campaign 2 here. Marsland dies, and Jade had to carry Marsland back to town. With Jade's strength and the gear that Jade had, carrying Marsland and all his stuff through the jungle or the forest, it's just not plausible. unless it was going to take him a week to get there because he would be encumbered. That's where those encumbrance rules kind of help out. Or if you find the Dragon's Hoard and there's 8,000 copper there, that's a lot if you don't have ignore coin weight on, because coin weight's a thing. 50 coins weighs a pound. I mean, a lot of times they're throwing their coins into like a bag of holding or something, so it doesn't matter anyways. So, but I don't think it's negatively impact us with the encumbrance stuff yet.
Well,
Yeah, I wouldn't say
we don't
so.
fall into too many dragon boards either.
No,
Just the one.
just the one so far.
Yeah.
Your ability score, that's just a preference. Do you want the big number to be your ability score with the modifier on top, or you want it to be the big number? I like my scores big and the modifier on the bottom. That's just classic D&D.
Yeah.
But
That's my preferred way.
I think it's because we played old school and that's just how it was.
I can see that. I never thought about when I did it. I just left it alone.
I just left it alone. I never touched it.
Yeah. And then your character privacy. If you're playing in a campaign, I recommend private, just so other players can't click on your sheet. I don't know if Matt's with us, but Matt pulled that hijinks with us pretty early on in campaign 1 when somebody went down and he's like, hey, I'm looking at his character sheet and I'm going to take this off his body and this and this. I'm like, hold on.
Calling you out, Matt.
Yeah.
Well, come on. He also tried to eat a party member.
He did.
I mean,
He's good. I'm going to eat him.
In his defense, that is literally his character, though. If I remember right.
Yeah, he took every flaw, which we'll get to that here in a minute. So basically, and we spent a lot of time talking about these, but like, I don't pick a character portrait or name yet. I usually, what do you guys do? I go right to class, like before I even pick the race or anything.
I'll switch back and forth between race, class, but yeah, class is usually the go-to because then I'll pick the race that I want to coincide with it.
Same.
Yeah.
I usually know what race I want to play, or I usually know what class I want to play for the race.
Right, exactly. Because then you want to build the story in your head. Like, what is this character this whole time? What is his deal? What is his problem? So let me duplicate this, and so I have Mordo Moldhaven. Which he's a sorcerer, and I think he's even wild magic sorcerer or something like that. But he has really bad allergies, so his wild magic comes from sneezing into the ether there.
Was he the boat captain?
No, he's not. He's fairly recent. Can't remember. I'm pretty sure he was. No, he's Clockwork, but he's got really bad allergies, and he doesn't know how to control magic very well. So I try to think of like a theme or something of a class I want to go down. A lot of times, like we'll bring in movie characters are fun to do if you want to try to build those. Basically, here you got all these races, and even though Blood Hunter's a critical role race, I wouldn't pick it, pass on it. It just kind of caps out early. It's just,
yeah, I can see that. Because I came in around like level 13 or 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I just didn't get much after I started playing them.
Well, let's just put it this way: players in Critical Role that it was built for don't play it.
Yeah, they don't. Well, in fact, like I think they rewrote some of it after was it campaign 2? One of the characters just died because he like went to use a power and like cut himself to death or whatever.
I wasn't paying attention to his health points.
Yeah. So, a common question that comes in is, what's the difference between a sorcerer, a warlock, and a wizard? They are not the same. Sorcerers get their power from a bloodline or some kind of innate magic inside of them. Warlocks get it from a patron, a deal with a good or bad or neutral deity, not necessarily a deity, but like a servant of a deity, something like that. And then a wizard gets their magic from books. So warlocks, their spells are always cast at the highest level they can achieve. So they don't get certain spell slots. Wizards learn their stuff by scribing spells they find in books and things. And then sorcerers just know.
I didn't realize warlocks didn't get spell slots on a couple of them.
They only get 2 and then to begin with, and then it increases, I think, max of like 4 at 20 or something like that. But they're the only
all
class
they
that
have to do is just take a nap and then they get their spell slots back.
yeah, they're the only class that
quick
gets
rest.
their spell slots back on a short rest. Yeah. And honestly, it's so they can basically their spell slots are for casting hex. So you cast hex,
Yep.
and then if the creature dies, you get to use a bonus action to take that hex and move it to something else. So like you can use one spell slot for an entire battle. Their
But then
spells
you just like range the rest of the time.
your cantrip, Eldritch Blast, most powerful cantrip attack cantrip in the game. Yeah, because at level 5 it splits into 2, so you can hit 2 different targets. I mean, it's
Pew, pew, pew.
their class is really built around Eldritch Blast. Rogues are great. Paladins can be good. I know Oz is a big fan of paladins.
Not really.
Just never really had somebody play one outright.
Yeah. A lot of people think I feel like a lot of people think paladins are like these obnoxious holy people. They're not necessarily that. Their smites are good, but some of the classes like scale up quickly, and then kind of taper off after that. Like Bard is a great class, but they start off terrible.
Yeah.
And then as they get higher level, it like L's, and because they start getting proficiency on all their ability checks. You talk your way out of everything. Rogues start off super strong because of sneak attack, and then it just kind of evens out with some of the other classes as it goes. Monk, I would say, is kind of slow.
It's slow the entire way.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially if you multi-class.
you don't start getting that too. You don't start getting anything until between levels 9 and like 14, and then it dies off again. So you're starting slow, then you get strong, then you end slow.
Yeah.
But
you
it's just
also
one of those
can't.
people are like, we hate monks. It's because they didn't work it properly. It's I know they were trying to give you something other than just a fighter, because a lot of people don't like fighters because fighter classes can be boring.
I love fighters.
But it's like what they did is brought in the monk, and they didn't do anything to change how boring it could get. Like if you look at what monks get after like level 16, you're just like, why would I go to level 20 with this character?
Yeah. Fighters don't get enough love. I like the fighters. Druids don't get a lot of love too, and they're pretty great. Cleric, I think, is, in my opinion, I think Cleric is one of the most OP classes. That's just my opinion. Just because, well, they can wear heavy armor. They can cast in heavy armor. If they're wielding a shield, they're impervious from like an early level, and some of their damage spells are insanely strong. Gwendolyn has a shield, right?
Yeah, I have a paladin shield or something like that.
What's your AC? Like 18?
My AC's been 18 since the beginning.
Yeah,
and I still get hit often.
Yeah, Why are you so squishy? Why are you so squishy?
Right?
Come on, mine's 20 and I get every time.
I can literally remember our first fight. I was 18. I think Bishop was also 18. We're like, how the fuck are these rogues already killing us?
Barbarian's fun. I like the Barbarian. Artificer, and Oz can back me up because he's actually played one. I don't recommend Artificer for a first character.
No, definitely not.
That is a class that is a lot of maintenance, a lot of note taking. It's just not covered well.
It also depends on how you play it.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Because Biddle was trying to spread his stuff out to multiple players.
Yeah.
That's true.
And if
I was a selfish artificer,
right.
I'd have been OP.
Right. It's a lot easier to keep all that compartmentalized if you had it towards yourself, not other things.
But it was a great character. I like him. Are you going to smite the dragons down out of the sky with an artificer? Not as much. They're a great support class though.
You can if you build an ICBM.
Right.
Or IBCM. Whatever the acronym is for it.
So
Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, ICBM.
Yep. Okay.
So we're not gonna like go into the subclasses for all these, but basically, you want to pick your class. It allows you to choose your level if you're starting at a level other than 1. 1 is rough. You get max hit points at 1, so 8 hit points. Plus your constitution.
This time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And but then you can pick your patron, and there's a lot more to pick from. The Lich, I think that one's ours. I think that's a homebrew one that we did, that Mike did. But the Genie, I think, is a new one. There's a lot of these new ones. I haven't looked at these.
Is the great old one just Cthulhu?
Pretty much. So pick yours. Optional feat manager, so you can see, you can allow access to new spells and Eldritch versatility, so you can check those out. But don't forget to click spells and pick your spells once you get to that. You gotta add your spells. 2 cantrips, 2 known spells, which you only need Eldritch Blast. That's the only cantrip you really need.
And friends.
And friend, yeah. Baldur's Gate has taught you need friends now.
It has 100%.
You also make people upset when you use friends on them.
I have.
You can. I have.
I've seen it. Yep.
Oh.
Pick your race. There's a lot of them out there. That's one that we get pretty much every book for. So there we have a lot to pick from ourselves.
And the legacy makes it like doubled on some stuff.
Yeah, which is kind of irritating. But then you can go back, and once you pick your race, it'll select portraits of that race for you, and then you can do what Quentin does and just like generate fantasy names.
I hit random until I see a G name, and I take it. Literally what I do.
Where's the random button? Or is this? Oh, here.
It suggests more, yeah.
So there we go.
There we go. Let's go. I say Gothian.
So then we have the ability score increase that you can do. So you can pick your ability score stuff that you want to do. That's your racial stuff. And since it's a warlock, for whatever reason, charisma, and we'll do constitution.
Generation method. That's the very top screen.
Yep. So we use manual rolled. And our rules here is, you're going to roll for each one.
What dice are you using?
Bigsby's hands.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a bit much though, because like every roll is like this.
Oh damn! What is your dump stat?
Right. So what we do is we. Are you done? Are you done, Bigsby? We take all these numbers, we add them up, and if they don't equal 72, we hit add group and we go again. Because you don't want to start the game at a severe disadvantage. You may want to start at a severe disadvantage where your intelligence is 6 and you just kind of drooling on yourself. But once you do get those, you can assign those stats. I'm just gonna do it here just for. And you can apply those ability scores.
Wow, that screen lagged so hard.
Did
You were on strength, and then all of a sudden they're all done.
See, that's because I click quickly. Then the favorite part, picking any language, backstories, that kind of stuff. I like backstories. I like good backstories. Quentin has come so far with his backstories from the beginning. Wasn't the big one you like in the beginning? You use some kind of backstory generator or something.
I do for one shot still.
see,
like if I make one, just because it makes it quick and easy.
Right. So like character details, picking your alignment, and in our world, we take alignments pretty seriously. I expect you to play your alignment. If you're chaotic good and you're doing evil stuff all the time, we're going to shift your alignment, and that's going to affect something down the road, whether it be conversations with people or decisions that you have to make, that kind of stuff. I have shifted people's alignments in this group. In the first campaign, I don't think I've done it on the second one. Did it? Did we? Can't remember.
No, I think you did. My problem is always like, how do you play alignments? I think we've had it at. Go ahead.
There's a lot of good videos out there. So like, that's a whole video in itself is talking about alignments.
It's tough. That's my problem with paladins, is being able to play a paladin correctly.
Yeah, but I mean, you could still be lawful neutral.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it has to do with the party makeup, because if you're going to be a lawful good character and your party's a bunch of miscreants, that's going to be really difficult to work with.
Yeah, I know. Don't you look away from me, Biddle.
Yeah, I think Bishop's lawful good, right?
Yeah. There's been conversations between the two.
Yeah, there has.
Yeah.
I already forget by yeah, I'm awful good too.
That fits.
I didn't realize how old I made my character. Dude, age and races are so confusing for me, because like, what are like your teen years and your adult years?
I just treat them like human lifespans, unless it's really necessary.
The big one, I mean, all the races will tell you that when you go to their page, what the average life expectancy is. A lot of them are human. It gets weird with elves.
Yeah,
right.
They live.
I thought
longer.
dwarves were high, and that's why I did like a weird age, because I thought like I wasn't sure how it'd be.
They do. They live a long time. But put in your physical characteristics. This is all for you. Personality traits and all that stuff. I'm big on those because this is supposed to help guide you on how your character would act. Don't pick every flaw. So,
and I think the flaws are specific to like your race and class you picked. Like they're not.
It just said
set, right?
it's based on your background.
Oh, okay, my bad. I knew it was based on something.
So if I do a soldier,
You're a drunkard.
now I go to flaws and they show up. So yeah, add one or two or do your own. Like you can do your own. You can do custom ones too. everybody has flaws. This is like an interview at a business, right? What would you say your flaws are?
Well, I take big corporations and I tear them down from the inside.
That's my problem.
That's why there's always new jobs.
So I like my players to kind of adhere to these if they've got them, because it's really easy to like fall into a trope of always playing the same character type each time. You don't want to do that. So it's more for you and how the NPCs react to you. So like if you so if I did this one as a soldier, I made a terrible mistake in battle that cost many lives and would do anything to keep that mistake secret. I may have somebody from your past that was like, "Hey, I was at the Battle of Waterdeep. You remember when you pulled that trebuchet and wiped out like half our own forces? You remember that? Like, I would expect you to have a severe reaction to that, or even like stop them, or not be like, "Yeah, man, I'm awesome." That's just a flaw of something like bad, So same with bonds and ideals, your thought process and personality traits. Some of those can be pretty good.
It's like us trying to shush Marsland from giving away all the secrets when we're talking to people.
Yeah, that's a character flaw for him, and it's great. I think his character flaw is something like doesn't get social cues, which is great. He plays it well. Getting to equipment, you can choose equipment or gold. You're going to want to choose equipment and then just pick the stuff that you want on this. I recommend an arcane focus, though it doesn't really matter. And then you add your starting equipment and you're good to go. And then you can go to your character sheet and
you can be hit by a cat and killed.
What is that? Who is that?
That sounds like Jeff Dunham and Peanut.
I don't know.
I got nothing on here.
I blame us. So yeah, I mean, generally, that's how you make a character. Kind of in more detail than we expected. Definitely not anything I can break down into small videos.
Is that better?
Whoa.
No.
What?
I was a deep now.
Yeah, you got deep voice.
Dear.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Well, as long as we're coming through the right channel, good. All right.
Oz has like 32 mics. He has to pick the one that works best.
He really does. Do you have a TV on or something there, Bill?
I turned it off.
Yeah. So that's that. Now I can go in and delete Gothian.
Why? He could be an NPC. He could be Gwenton's friend.
You could have been a contender.
Hey, there's Dak.
That's right. I'm Dak Gurton. And you know what Dak Gurton says in a time like this? What the hell? Y'all missed a great in-person. It'll live in infamy. Graham!
Graham was the total badass of the entire thing.
I feel thug life.
Oh. But yeah, we're gonna be back at Midland in March. I mean, we've already started some prep work for that. That's gonna be good. This year is Ghostbuster theme, so we're gonna try to make our adventures in that realm ghosty. Me and Mike, we like horror stuff anyways. Especially horror campaigns and that kind of stuff. So that's an easy sell on our side. There's some really creepy creatures that are out there. So what do you guys got? I've been talking this whole time. Anybody from who's watching got any D&D questions or? The silence is deafening.
The silence is answers.
So I think I am sharing an application here. So let me show you. I can show you how we build maps. I've had some questions about that too. So let me.
Oh, I know. Speaking of building maps, I don't know how Biddle like makes it seem so easy to build maps in map tools. Because the first time I did it, trying to like get the scaling of the map right with the people, with the movement to not look weird as hell, I had so many problems with.
So
he's talking.
What?
I saw.
Yeah, you and I could work on it together. It just takes a little knowing which how to scale it, and then how to get the scale to work with the map.
But, that's what I'm meaning to talking about.
Don't do that. There we go. What? Oh, that's why I switched everything. There. That's what I was trying to do. All right. So yeah, this is a tool I use to make maps. It's called Dungeon Draft. It's like $20. Well worth it.
That's a splooting corgi.
It is. It is. Mega sploot. So once you get used to a bit of how the controls work, because there's no zooming in and out here, it's a pretty ingenious little tool because you can do buildings, and I can say, all right, I want to put a cobblestone road here, and it will put the walls around it, and you can choose the walls that you want around it. So maybe we want stone walls here. We get the stone walls, and they connect. So if I do this and then do this, they automatically connect and shift, which is pretty cool for doing that kind of stuff. Or you can just do walls that are out there. Putting doors on just as easy. You can just click, and I want to put a door here, a door here, a door there.
The ability for us to open those is amazing.
Yeah, because all this links into Foundry. This one is fun, and this is the cave brush. So when you guys are going into a cave, I may say, okay, this is where you're going to land, and it builds that cave. And I'm going to say, all right, this is going to go like this, and it builds that cave for me. And then you can go over onto the side here, and you can add different things using the pattern shape. We can put in some sidewalks in here.
What does the heart shape do? So literally it's like a heart shape. Like
no, so the heart shape is actually, this is your polygon to build kind of those weird shapes.
Oh, okay.
Then we've got the terrain brush. You can say, okay, I want this to be snowy. And if we do smooth blending off, we get something like that, which I like smooth blending. So you can do just a little bit here. And you notice the walls of the cave block off that.
That's pretty cool.
Because everything's based on layers. So you can build up and build down. You can put objects. There's tons of objects in here, and you just pick those and put them wherever. Or you can type in, I need a tree.
Do these rocks glow? Where's the piles of bone?
I think so like there's piles of bone, and you can scale these up and say, oh, there's a big one. So that one's,
I think this is a mass pit.
One of my favorite tools here is the water tool, because I can say, oh, we've got water right here. and it just, you can see it even like slightly moves. That's something you guys don't get into Foundry. It doesn't transfer that moving water.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And the bigger you do, you'll get like a deep color. Let me move.
Oh yeah, because it's
So that's pretty neat, and like you can go a darker color for that.
I want them to know if they jump in here, they're gonna drown.
Yeah, I mean it's a really neat tool for doing this kind of stuff. Same thing with lava. Like we can do a lava pit,
Kryptonite.
or you can do some
I heard
ice.
lizard wizards don't like lava.
It's true. Or you can do some a poison pit of some sort. But you can see right here, I can pick the layer. So do I want it on the lowest or the highest? I can say this happens above roofs, and now I can put that on top of there.
Oh, so you make acid pits,
Right?
Drop down big straps.
So I can add text and mess with the levels. You can environmental lighting. So I can say, here's my light tool, and it respects the walls too. So I put a torch there, and I can put a torch here. And you can change the color of the torch. You can make it a green light. And there's all those kind of things that are in there, which I'm a big fan of. So it's not bad to make up a map. And there's if you're building city, and you guys will see these as familiar too. You're gonna put a house there. And we're going to put a house here, and you can see there's different roof types for the cities, and you can change the colors of those. Even a straw thatch or brick. So those are pretty neat. We use this to build all our maps too, and they export right out. So if I were to open up, let's go to one of the others. Where is one of our first ones here? The fields. Okay. So this is your current house.
That big summoning circle right there has a ward on it, just so you know.
So this is where I was saying to come in here, and like I can come in and start removing this, these I don't know why that's not deleting some of this debris.
If it lets you.
Yeah, if it lets me. I think there's something going on there. But if I come down here, this one is separated into 3 levels. So I can go to the ground level, and you can actually make this like transparent to see the levels below it. If you do compare levels, you can mess with opacities. Current level, we're going to make that 8% reference level. And it's probably messed up. So
right there's Bishop's room.
Yeah, up in here. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not letting me delete this stuff right now. But yeah, I mean to clean this one up so that you guys have an accurate layout of the home itself. We'll mow the yard and stuff too. Get all this. You still have the music room as well, but there's quarters there. I think the more dramatic one. Which one was the one I did recently that had so many levels? It wasn't that one. Wasn't that one? I think it's this one.
So wasn't it one of the towers?
No, actually. It was I remember now. It was Old Smyrna. So yeah, so there all these. There was ground level, the city square, the old docks, all that stuff. So all of it's stored here. So then when you go to export it,
All those poor dead horses.
you can bring it in. You can export it out as a universal VTT or an image file. Once you put it out as a universal VTT, you can take it right into Foundry, and it'll bring in all the lighting and the doors and all that kind of stuff. But once, like with the complexity of what we have going on with all of these, it is getting a little gets a little laggy, it gets a little slow when you're trying to do stuff.
But then we're not here anymore.
For now. And there's various asset packs you can pick up for it. They sell more of them. You can go to a website and you can pay a couple bucks, and it's more artwork that people have gotten. It's pretty handy. I'm a big fan. Put a big pool of water in here. Now the spirits can go swimming. So it's easier to use than some of the other tools I've got, but it's got its quirks, for sure. But the ability to export out into Foundry is pretty nice. But yeah, that's how we make our maps. Go back to our main screen here. Well, we're not getting a lot of community questions tonight. Summertime. Yeah, well, summertime, right? I mean, people are busy, people are out.
Swimming in the ocean.
Yeah. I was just 2 weeks ago.
It saddens him to be back.
Yeah. Well, Oz isn't even here. Like, he gave up on us.
I mean, he did.
Cooking food.
Hey, you said there's no L in Ozadov. There's an L right there on the end.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not. There's not one in the middle.
Nope, it's Ozadolf, not Ozoldolf.
It's always gonna be Ozadov.
Maybe I'll just continue to pronounce it wrong in righteous
indignation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is what you get for mispronouncing all of my names.
Every one of them. Like
Burn Patch.
What is that? Lomain.
Lomar. Yep.
Yeah.
Romaine. He became soup.
Romaine lettuce. What is something that we missed that you can tell us that you're really hoping we wouldn't, that you don't have planned to come back later?
There are things, but there's some I can't tell some of them. Well, I mean, the 8th and Shadow Spark was not supposed to go that way.
Oh, we already figured that.
Yeah, we made our own BBEG.
But like,
we know he's wandering the streets of.
No. That's still random undead. It could be anybody.
It could be anybody that walked out of a tomb.
It's Grayson's dad again. Grayson.
One fight that he wasn't part of.
No, don't worry. Gold Tier wasn't part of it either. He fucking slept the entire time in a different realm.
Yeah, it's tough because everything is still like possible or connected in some way. Yep. So I've had to divert a lot of things. You guys have gone a different direction than what I anticipated. But it's
an open world. We can go wherever we want.
and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like
And that
I
stupid
know the
airship's gonna follow us around everywhere we freaking go.
I don't know. Gwen keeps saying he's going to steal it.
We need
Yeah.
to steal. It'll make our travels so much easier.
Yeah, and nobody will know it's you.
Exactly. They'll think it's the other one. Was there 2 ways to save Gaz then?
To save him?
Let him die, whatever you want to consider it. Because the first time you said, "Oh, you guys released Ethan." Well, if you go back and kill him, and there's this little black stone he has or something like that, bring it back to me.
I would like to plead the fifth on that particular subject.
Oh man,
I can't ask anything right now. That might be a spoiler.
right? I'm trying to think what we can't ask that isn't a spoiler. Oh, and for those in the crowd that's wondering, crowded Crow is like the 333rd generation living down there. I think we did the math and it was like 300 and something.
Yeah, she's been down there a while.
Well, not her necessarily, but her entire life, which isn't much. Oh, okay. Can you tell us what the ritual they were performing in the church in Old Smyrna that Marsland interrupted to make the thing be summoned?
Yeah.
they literally had found a book underneath there, and they picked something out and just started like speaking it to see what would happen.
Oh, really?
It was completely innocent until they misspoke one of the words. It was very much an evil or army of darkness, like you know, like oops, wrong ingredient.
That guy almost wrecked us.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, no, it wasn't malicious at all.
Damn it, Marsland. Jumped the gun.
Well, you know, this gets into that gray area, right? Who are the bad guys? Are Crow's people the bad guys? Are these people the bad guys?
No, we're the bad guys.
Are we the bad guys?
No, that's what we should name our group now. We should just call it the bad guys.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to think what else has happened that we could.
There's been some secret rooms you haven't found and that kind of stuff. Chests that have gone unopened, but that's fine. Trying to think some other things.
Bishop can't open every lock.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird not having a rogue. Of course, the rogue never
have a rogue in every party.
Right? Right? Well, bards are good at that kind of stuff too.
They are.
But Bishop does well.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for you to smash a couple of them open, though, that you didn't get open.
Bishop's not all about all that.
Well,
As long as his eyes aren't red, he's good.
Yep.
yeah. When is that going to happen?
Hopefully never.
Yeah.
How much of a wrench was it when Oz decided he wanted to get kidnapped?
Decided.
Yeah. Didn't you decide?
Yeah, you totally decided you want to get kidnapped.
By the thieves up north?
Yeah.
when you just went up there and
Slap that horse on the rear end?
yeah.
They bumped me.
They bumped you.
They did.
No, that was I was not planning on that for sure. I
think
wasn't
both may.
I wasn't planning on digging the holes in the field to rest in and watch.
Were we supposed to find their little hideout in the forest so soon?
Yeah, that was more planned. Everything circles around Oz.
Just like the boat that circles around them.
Now, like Perrin's
Yes.
Folly was a complete disaster. Like that
It
wasn't
was.
supposed to go that way at all. So yeah,
I
that
think
was
we've talked where it's supposed to be like 3 sessions, maybe.
Yep.
if that, yeah.
Get in, get out.
I didn't have it.
So the only one I was unsure of what was going to happen was when Jade was on trial. I was like, this could go so many different ways right now.
Mm-hmm. And Oz
And
just comes in there and says, he's an idiot.
Well, it was really close because I think Jade said something about like, just kill me or something like that.
He did at one point in time.
And yeah, that would have happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to kind of retool that whole area for that.
For being set on fire.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, here you've got this massive fire, and then like there's this ancient tree there for stuff as well. A lot of nature stuff there that's like completely ruined now.
Yep.
Was it Samoan tree? Samoa?
Sumalan?
Somalian?
Work
Hey,
so
you know-
hard, figure these out.
We haven't touched that tree since literally that scenario. And
That's
that was
true.
like, oh God, 30 sessions ago?
It was a long time ago. We all are
Session
afraid to
now,
go
like
back.
37?
Mm,
We told you so we're not allowed to go back. Okay. To be completely honest with you, something I thought about doing when they were getting ready to go up north, and we were like, we should have taken that book because we didn't grab it. I'm like, I could just go in different armor, shave off my beard. They would never know it's me. I could probably get over there, go get the book, and come back.
Sure.
I wasn't marked.
Oh, Jade was the only one marked because
Yep.
Bishop wasn't allowing that to happen to anybody else.
Disguise self is a thing. I just didn't have it. You scroll for it.
Bishop was flat out. If you want to kill him for doing what he did, that's your law. Do it.
Yep. His business is his own.
It's on the coffee mug. Yeah, this last session was the first one where anyone like read a book that was marked by a shadow spark. And that was Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the other books, or did Marsden give them to?
Gisela has them all, I believe.
Yeah, that's the thing. Pretty sure going to just fall asleep reading a book. So I still argue. I forget what it was, but you made me roll a disadvantage on something, and I'm like, I literally have the most sleep out of everybody here. Why am I the one who's not getting? He's like plain old like, I'm done. I'm good with it.
Poor Gwenton and his rolls.
Right. And unfortunately, those rolls have followed me into Baldur's Gate.
Hey, at least it's not a 7.
It's
Over and over again.
Yeah.
Hit a lottery, man. 7.
It's all about the 7. Well, I think we're going to call it early tonight. We'll be back next week
We'll be playing on Wednesday.
No. What are we playing on Wednesday? I don't know.
Phasmo with Mike.
Yeah, if we
I
can,
pass with Mike.
if we can arrange that.
We'll see.
Let's see.
Legends on Paper streaming,
Are they?
and so is Strife. But Legends only has a few people.
Oh yeah. We'll take everybody over to Legends on Paper. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. A little bit different format, but gives everybody a chance to talk and gives us a chance to test our new interface.
Right. It was fun just to chit chat about stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be on back full steam next week.
Yep, we will with Marsland. If not, we're proceeding without him if he's not here. We're gonna have
better
to
be rewatching last week's episode. He needs to know what the hell he's supposed to know.
That's true. That's true. So thank you for coming out tonight, and until next time, we'll see you in the dungeon.
Don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking. They call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP. I do what I want to. That's a mantra. Keep 'em running and gunning like Contra. I'm a monster. The end is upon us, I promise you. Novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking. They call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP. I do what I want to. Yeah, that's a mantra. I keep 'em running and gunning like Contra. Yo, I'm a monster. Turn it up. What you know about the final boss? I got him trying to buy time with the sign of the cross. I redefine high crime and the meaning of loss. I'm off hip on a body like I'm playing lacrosse. Beat to the EG. I'm keeping them queasy. I make it seem easy. Acknowledge me. I've been demolishing your cities. I'm astonishingly sleazy. I'm the big bad. Y'all must be the cast. I'm killing a master, villain, a blast, a disaster. Really a rap bastard, willing to rap fast for the masses. I ravage all races and classes. Savage, I can't stop myself. Thinking of all the ways I can top myself. On God, I can move like a devil. I hope you and your squad are ready for the last level. It ends here. The end is upon us. I promise you. Novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking. They call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP. I do what I want to. That's a mantra. Keep 'em running and gunning like